Today we will feature information about copyright and how to ensure students are legally using text, images, music, and videos in their work. You'll learn about intellectual property and how teachers and students can work within copyright laws, websites that provide access to royalty-free images, music, and video, Creative Commons, public domain, how to use EasyBib and BibMe's online citation makers to cite sources. Thanks for joining us. I'm Christy Robinson, Curriculum Coordinator with the Division, and Lisa Bender also joins me as the Division's eLearning Catalyst teacher. Our goal is to be finished by 4 this afternoon, but if you'd like to explore the information further, we'll stay online until 4:15, so you can contact us with questions or for assistance through the chat. After today's session, we'll be sending out the training videos and posting them in the Chromebook training video section of the Destiny Library homepages. We'll start the session with just a brief overview about copyright laws that affect us in education. So I'm going to flip and start sharing my screen. I just have a little presentation that you'll be able to access later. Okay.
Did you share it?
I thought I shared it. I need to go back and do that again. Oh, I forgot to hit the final share. Okay, I was thinking I was doing so well. Okay, how come it's not showing my...
Says your other.
There we go. Okay.
Yep. It's working.
All right. So copyright basically prohibits others from copying your work without permission, and its purpose is to protect copyright owners while promoting creativity and the exchange of ideas. So copyright protects literary works, dramatic works, musical works, artistic works, and other subject matter like performances, sound recordings, and communication signals, so the radio waves that we have. There is a link here if you would like to learn more information about copyright. Now, this is probably a sign that you've seen around your school, perhaps at the photocopier, but there's a document called publication called Copyright Matters, Some Key Questions and Answers for Teachers. The new edition, the 4th edition, has come out, and it's available online. If you would like a print copy, you can contact me and I can have that sent out to you, as we do have some copies here at the Division office. I'm not sure why it stopped sharing. It says I lost my connection. So I'll try this again. Okay. Just taking a moment to load. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, there we go. This information can also be found through the STRC portal page or through this presentation as well. So one of the things within this document on page 19, it encourages schools to teach copyright awareness and respect of copyrighted works. So students and educators are required to cite the source of the internet materials they are using. So that's something to keep in mind, and you can find the document at this first link, and a second link is a short video that applies to teachers or those that are working in educational settings. All right, so Chinook School Division does have a policy on on plagiarism, and that's there should always be consequences for academic dishonesty. That includes cheating or plagiarism. Chinook School Division does not condone academic dishonesty. Students who have been found to be cheating or plagiarizing will have their behavior addressed by school policy. So that is on a school-by-school basis. But of course, we want to teach students about how they can avoid plagiarizing, how they can avoid having content appear to be their own if they do not cite sources. So a few things that are some ideas. Just make time to bring awareness to plagiarism and copyright issues with students. I find that if you talk to them about would they want someone else using something that they created and then sharing it as if it was their own, they usually would prefer that someone at least recognize that it's their creation. So they do understand that respect. Of course, it does take time, a little extra time to do that. So create opportunities for students to practice putting information in their own words, with direct instruction, lots of practice, support, and feedback as they do that. It is a hard task for them at times, so it's really great to give feedback and steer them in the right direction. Many teachers have taken Project Chris, and there's lots and lots of different strategies in that book that teachers can use to help students to really understand the content so they don't have to rely on plagiarism, copying word for word in projects. Teaching jot note techniques would be one of those strategies. And expect students to cite sources. Clearly state this before students start their work, because it's always easier to cite sources as you're working than going back after and trying to find the source, which ends up them perhaps not persevering and completing that portion of the assignment. Provide source options that help students connect with royalty-free images, music, and video. And so Lisa has collected a listing of those providers, and that's what we'll be going into next. So one of the places that, or one of the symbols that students can look for to legally know if work, text, and image, a video is eligible to use, is to look for the public domain logo. So it's like copyright with a line through it. And so in Canada, works generally fall into public domain after 50 years after the publication date or the death of the creator. They can also use items that have Creative Commons licensing, and Creative Commons allows creators to give others the right to share, use, and build upon a work that they have created. So there's different types of licenses, and students can create these licenses as well. And it's actually encouraged that students, grades 6 to 12, actually learn how to do this. So you can go to this Creative Commons link to find out more information about the different license types, but there's licenses that allow sharing, remixing, so depending on what type of license they're willing to share with others. Also something else that students can use and teachers can use when looking for images and information is in a Google search. If you go to search tools and usage rights, you can filter the results by the type of usage, either labeled for reuse, labeled for reuse with modification, or non-commercial reuse. So this is something that you can look for in Google. So we want to make sure that text, images, video, music can be copied from the internet if they're following the fair dealings guidelines, and attribution is provided, which basically means that they cite the source information. In the Copyright Matters, that orange booklet for teachers, it states that fair dealings are exemptions to the copyright laws, and so teachers can copy and students can copy up to 10%, a short excerpt of a document that they're using, and so that includes printing something off the internet as well. So there is more information at the Canadian Intellectual Property Office if you're interested. And this leads me into the next portion of our session, where the Ministry of Education has developed a K-12 digital citizenship continuum. And these are just some sorry, I have lost my sharing again. I'm not sure why I keep getting disconnected. A moment while it loads there. All right, so this digital citizenship continuum are just recommendations for different ways that teachers and students can make sure that they are educating themselves about use of technology, but then also using it appropriately. So there's a K-2, 3-5, 6-9, and 10-12 recommendations. This one that I pulled is on digital law, and that's the electronic responsibility for actions and deeds. So that's one component within this continuum, and I won't go through and read all of this, but I did highlight and bold what applies, what comes from that digital law component, and how that fits with this copyright webinar. So searching for copyright-free images on appropriate websites and naming their sources is something that students in grades kindergarten to grade 2 should be learning how to do. In grades 3 to 5, appropriately attribute online information and digital media by copying the website address and writing a simple citation. In grades 6 to 9, create a Creative Commons license for work they can create. And in 10 to 12, understand a legal responsibility, including for electronic actions, including using copyright materials. And then, as you can see, appropriately attribute online information and digital media using a standardized referencing format. So this link takes you to a PDF of the complete continuum, digital etiquette, access, digital law. So it goes through each of those components, K to 12. I'm just going to continue on. And so one of the ways that we can ensure that students are using royalty-free websites, so websites that contain free pictures, music, and video, is to actually provide them with some of those sources. So Lisa has went and curated a list of websites that provide free access to students and teachers so that they can use these images, music, and video in their schoolwork, and not be breaking copyright law. Sometimes attribution is required, sometimes it isn't. So I'll let Lisa go through and talk more about these websites.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right. Okay, so one of the sites is Pexels, and on Pexels you can get free pictures and free videos, and so if I just search, let's say beach, here's a picture of a beach. Right here it says free download. I can click on it and I can say small size, whatever size I want, and then press download. And now it automatically downloads for me. Also right here, CC0 license. So it's free for personal and commercial use, no attribution required. Then if you want to go through this more with your students, you could actually click on the license to see what does a CC0 license even mean. So this is Pexels, and that is the Pexels images. Then if you click on the 3 dots over here, you can go to free videos. And so in some of the projects, students may want some free videos in there. Now you do have to be careful with this site and with Pixabay that when you search for a video, if there's no free ones, it's going to give you sponsored ones. But they'll say Shutterstock on them. So here's a video. And again, as you can see, it's a CC0 license, free for personal commercial use, no attribution required. So it's quite nice. Then you just click on the free download and it will automatically start downloading. So for the students, it will download into their Google Drive, and for staff, it will download into the download. So you'll need to go into your folder, and in your downloads, you'll have to your drive, but the students, it will do it automatically. So that's Pexels, images and videos. Then there's Pixabay, which is very similar, and you can also get it as an app. You can also create an account if you want to be able to save the pictures that you've been wanting. So here, photos, illustrations, vectors, and videos. So if I click on this one, again, CC0 public domain, you can't really see that. No attribution required, but again, you can learn more and free download. Really, for all the students need, all they need is the small picture anyways, and then they can just download it. So Pixabay, like I said, you can do images or videos. So right here, up at the top left, I can change it from all images to videos, however I want to do it. So that's for your free pictures and videos. There's also some sites for free music. So in some of the projects that we do with the students, we want to be able to add music to it. And I always tell the students, well, if you have purchased your music and you know how to get it from your phone to the computer and do it all legally, you can do that. But sometimes we don't want the words. So here, students can choose from the different categories of music. They can also search a type of music. And so now let's say I want to listen to it, I would just click on this play button. And then when I'm done, I just press pause. Then I can download. And right here, it has a Creative Commons license. So it says all you have to do is give credit to bensound.com. So it's perfect for the students. They just click on download. It will download the music file for them. There's also this other one. It's called Sound Bible. And basically what it will do is it has sound effects and sound clips. You can preview it by just clicking on the play button. And if you want it, then you click on it. Oops. And you don't click on the start download here. It's an advertisement. You click on download the MP3 right here. And so then you just download it. And this has a license attribution 3.0. So what that means is you have to properly cite this one. So Christy will show a couple sites as an easy way to cite your sources. But with the ones from Sound Bible, you will need to give attribution. I do have a couple other options here for pictures. So let's say your students are working on a Google Doc. They're doing an essay, and so when let's say they're writing a Google Doc, they're doing an essay or a research project, something, they can click on this cool little symbol down at the bottom of a Google Doc. That's called Explore. And when they go here, so let's say I just type in dog. Then I can actually research dog, but I can also click on image. And let's say I want that dog in there, I just click on the plus sign, and the dog automatically goes in there. And then when I click on it, it will tell me where the picture came from. So if everything is electronic that the students are doing, this will work, and then you already know where it came from. And yeah, so that's kind of handy, is that you can do it right through your Google Doc. Also, Christy showed this briefly on the presentation, is you can go to Google Images, and under Tools, you can go to Usage Rights, and you can choose Labeled for Reuse with Modification or Labeled for Reuse, and you can choose different ways of searching for your pictures that way. And so now these pictures would be freer to use. So I will turn it back over to Chris. Oh no, I have one more thing, sorry. From every school's learning resources page, so from their website, you can click on Learning Resources. And in here, we have Chromebook training videos right down at the bottom left, right. And in here, we have a whole bunch of videos that are available to students and teachers. So I have added these I've made 2 videos on how to use all of these sites, as well as how to use the EasyBib. All right, I'll turn it over to Christy, sorry.
All right. I see Suzanne had asked a question. I'm just sharing my screen here to get back in. Suzanne had asked if Infobits was royalty free, and no, it is not. But in Infobits, it will automatically cite sources for you. So Suzanne, I could show you how to do that after if you had a few minutes. All right, we are going to go on to citing those sources. So having a bibliography is that one way that students can reference where they are taking information and ideas from, or content by other creators. So 2 products that are really easy to use, are free and available online, are EasyBib and BibMe. They're virtually the same. You don't have to log in or create an account, although you have the option to do that as well. There are free versions where you just need to copy and paste, but there are also, of course, versions that require purchase plan or some sort of subscription and have some advanced features, but probably for most of our purposes that's not required. So as you can see here, this would be a sample. I have cited this EasyBib image, and I'll show you how to do that with EasyBib, and same thing with BibMe. And quite honestly, it feels like you're filling out the exact same form. They're just on with 2 different companies' products. So BibMe, if I wanted to search dog, so let's say I am taking this particular picture. I'm This one happens to come from Pixabay, I see. And so what I'm going to do is visit that page. I'm going to, here. Okay, so here's my image. All I'm going to do is copy the website. I'm going to go back to my tab. Might just search, if you just Google EasyBib, you'll be brought to, sorry, EasyBib, it's auto-populating there for me. EasyBib, click on the website. Now you'll notice that there are different format styles along the top, depending on what your school perhaps uses. The first four options are website, book, video, film, journal, and database, which are the most frequently used, but there's also this 59, all these 59 options. Here's the most popular. We are actually going to be wanting to do a digital image, which is on the most popular, but it is in alphabetical order. You'll also see that there is music and audio here, newspaper articles, digital files. So we're going to, this is a digital image, so all I do is click digital image. The title of this, well, I don't have an official title. This bulldog image, so I'm going to just say that in the description, bulldog. Okay. I don't have contributors. My website title, well, this is from Pixabay. So I'm just going to type in Pixabay. The URL, that was what I copied and pasted from the top. I'm going to paste that in. Yes, I want to display the URL because I want to be able to locate it later. I can add this information when it was published, but today I'm putting where it's accessed. So if you have this additional information, that's great, not required. And then all I do is click Create Citation. And here it is. It's already created it for me. And if I give it a second, all I have to do is click Copy and Paste. That's copied. So if I'm in a project, or if I just need to put this in a Google Doc, I can open either my PowerPoint, my Adobe Spark page or video, open a new blank Google Doc, and paste it in. And it is ready to go. So I highly recommend having students get this set up ahead of time, so that they can always just go and, let's say we're doing a dog project, having this all set and ready to go. If you're using something like Adobe Spark, you'll see at the end what I did was just create essentially a new page. This is a new glide show, but if you were using a PowerPoint, perhaps the last page in that PowerPoint is set up for sources so that I can document which images or what text I need to cite and make it available to the users. One nice thing with using Adobe Spark is that if you use any of the images from the search within Adobe Spark, it automatically cites for you, so you don't even need to add those. So anything that I've cited here has been sources that I've found from the internet that I needed to provide attribution for. So that's so handy to have. It makes citing sources very easy for students and for teachers, but you just have to make the time to ensure that they're setting up a document so that as they are working through their project, they can cite as they go, because it's so much work to go back and try find what they used before. One thing that Lisa had mentioned when she was working with students before is that sometimes they just say that, well, I got that image or that video from Google, but it actually isn't. It is, they found it through Google, but Google is not where they should be getting credit. So when they do those searches, so if I just go to Google and I search dog, like many of them will, these images, yes, they're on Google, but you can see that this particular one, this golden retriever, is from PetSmart. So when students click on the image, they can visit the page to find out where that image came from. Same thing with videos as well. So that is the end of our session today. Thank you for joining us. We will stay on Blackboard Collaborate for 15 more minutes. If you'd like to explore further, or if you have questions, please just ask that in the chat. Today was our final Library Chromebook webinar. So in the future, please remember that you can access the archive of this webinar and other past webinars, as well as training videos from your school's Destiny Library homepage. If I go to quickly go to Irwin School. Okay, so that's through your school website, learning resources. As Lisa mentioned, our Chromebook training videos are available here for students and teachers to access whenever they need. And then in the teachers' resources, there is a link to the library Chromebook modules group, and along the top tab, the Chromebook modules. Today's information is in the copyright module, and you can find the videos, how to use EasyBib, this presentation that we use today, and other documents that will be helpful working through copyright. So thank you very much. Best wishes for the remainder of the school year, and we hope you have a good night.
Did you want to do the info bits?
Yep. All right. One thing that, sorry, Suzanne, if you are still here, I will show you. I'll just go into, I'm not sure because I can't log in, but let's see if this works. All right, so when we're in info bits, Suzanne, if I search dog, I can go to book or pictures. So if I go to dog, this book, there's the citation tools, and pretty much every online encyclopedia and database that we have access to has this citation tool. And just click on that, choose your format, and select, and it copies it for you. And then you can paste it into the document. If students are logged in with their Google Drive, they can export it into their Google Drive. So I'll just paste this in just so I can show you. So that's just pasting it from the copy I go into Google Drive, now I'm wondering if this goes into my info bits. I'm not sure where this goes. Let's see if my recent.
It sometimes takes a little bit. Oh, there's one. Oh, no, that's
There we go. So then it created citations, Emily ate dogs. So it's probably easier to just select that and then copy. So Control C or highlight, copy, and paste it into a document, because then you can keep it all going on the same one. But those are the options there. So I hope that answers that question for you.